This is the Washington Times front page for Monday, March 2nd, 2026. Thanks for starting your week with us. I'm George Gerbo. The White House is open to talks with new leadership in Iran, even after retaliatory strikes against Israel and other nations in the Middle East. Von Cockayne and Tom Howell report President Trump said he was pleased with how the mission, dubbed Operation Epic Fury, was being handled. Iran Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei was killed during U.S. and Israeli military strikes Saturday, alongside scores of other top Iranian military officials. Iranian officials said an interim leadership council is now governing Iran and will remain in charge until a new supreme leader is appointed. U.S. Central Command says 4 U.S. service members have been killed in the operation. Several other service members received minor shrapnel wounds. CENTCOM said those not in critical condition are expected to return to duty. The dramatic escalation of war makes clear that Trump is no longer someone who consistently criticized the use of American military force to oust threatening foreign regimes. Bill Gertz reports nearly 2 years ago, candidate Trump vowed he wouldn't use American power for such operations. The president shifted his policy dramatically after the reported deaths of tens of thousands of Iranians last month for protesting the Islamic regime in Tehran. The policy change also follows slow-moving negotiations on Iran's nuclear ambitions that were revived after bombings last June. The joint U.S.-Israeli military offensive is now stoking a heated fight on Capitol Hill over who has the power to take the country to war. Seth MacLachlan and Mary Bell report Democrats are renewing their push for a war powers vote, arguing the president went too far by launching the attack without congressional approval. For the most part, Republicans are supporting the president. They say the war powers resolution of 1973 gives Trump up to 60 days to act before seeking congressional approval. Pennsylvania Democratic Senator John Fetterman echoed Republicans' argument that Iran posed an immediate and serious threat and that Trump was on firm legal ground. And finally, Senate primaries in Texas on Tuesday could set up a November battle pitting far-left firebrand Representative Jasmine Crockett against far-right State Attorney General Ken Paxton. Susan Freechair reports Paxton is potentially headed to a runoff later this spring if he, Senator John Cornyn, or Congressman Wesley Hunt can't garner more than 50% of the vote. In a hypothetical head-to-head matchup in a University of Houston poll, Paxton leads Cornyn 51% to 40%. The outcome of the Democratic primary is uncertain. Crockett is tied with State Representative James Tallarico in an average of polls as the two battle for the party's nomination. A University of Houston poll taken during the first 2 weeks of February, however, showed Crockett leading Tallarico 56% to 46%. Find all today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us on social media at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.